So I just watched One Piece Red, and I gotta say it's unique in its own ways, in a way that's different from its other movies when it comes to the antagonist, cause I was not expecting that, having seen one trailer. Like the other movies, Red is a non-canon part of the One Piece world, but there are few elements that is canon and it's not shown in the anime yet, which some might be surprised, cause I got into this not knowing much, just that Shanks is in it. So the movie introduced a new character, Uta, who is the daughter of Shanks. She is also the most famous singer in the world, and for the first time, she will reveal herself, opening a live concert for her fans across the sea. The Straw Hat crew, who is a huge fan of Uta, attends her concert, and Luffy happens to be a childhood friend of Uta. Both grew up together when Shanks and his crew, the Red Hat Pirates, are still living in Fusha Village, Luffy's hometown. But during a Voyager, something happened and Uta gets abandoned on an island. The Red Hat Pirate returns back to the village without her, and that's where the original story of One Piece takes place. And after a few long years, Luffy and Uta is reunited again in this movie. And so how is this movie? Well, in the beginning I say its own unique ways. You have the most famous singer in the world who happens to be Shanks' daughter, opening her very first concert, wanting to change the world with her music. And you have the Marine who wants to stop her concert. But why? Because she is Shanks' daughter? Or something more sinister? Anyway, I can say this movie is not for everyone, cause if you are comparing previous movie, and I'm talking about the main movie where Oda is involved, Strong World, Z, Gold, and Stampede, and you watch Red, you might not appreciate it much. Some might like it, some might not. Let's talk about the negative first, which I heard a lot of people saying that there's too much singing, and she sings constantly throughout the film. Throughout the first act, which I get it, is introducing Uta, and it's basically a music video of her song. Until it comes to a point that makes me think, did she really need to sing in this scene? And also, there's this part that actually bothers me, but at the same time I laugh. It's a flashback when Luffy and Uta were kids, and Uta begins to sing as a child, but her voice is that of an adult, which was kind of funny. The pacing of the movie was also rushed, especially the second act, throwing in all the other characters in order to build up the third act. Story-wise, and the character which people are definitely going to compare is not as strong as the other four main movie, but it does better than the third act of Stampede when Bullet goes full kaiju mode. And now the positive. The animation is fantastic. The sequence Uta animated dance choreography was smooth, and they insert a few 3D render of her dancing, and I say it blends in with the animation. As for the music, each song shows different personality of Uta. Her happy side, her lonely side, and her wicked side. The singer voice for Uta Ado did an incredible job, and I would highly recommend listening to her music. And the fight scene of the animation throughout the third act was amazing, where the crew gathers together and fight the boss. And I know, Shanks, how did he play out? Did he just appear to give his powerful speech and just leave, like many people joke about it? No. Okay, no spoilers, but Shanks delivered. He was there, he was badass, his scene in the movie makes me want to see more of him in action. But because of not much is known about him in the original story, they had to keep it minimal. Still, he did not disappoint. There is an interaction between the Straw Hat Pirate and the Red Hat Pirate, which was badass. And also, the movie itself actually reveals some canon material that is not known in the manga yet. It's a very short scene that is during a flashback of Uta when she was a baby, and this flashback is like a flashback in a flashback, which when the scene happened, I was like, wait, what? What? It was a surprise, man. Overall, I still had a great time watching this movie. The song was great, the action was amazing, the final act was epic, but just a certain elements regarding the antagonist, the motivation and the storyline just don't work for me.